Welcome to the Starter Girlz podcast, the show dedicated to the Starter Girl. She's an achiever, she's a creator, she's a magic maker, she's a dreamer, and she is doing all the things. I'm your host, Jennifer Loading, and welcome to this episode. All right, friends, welcome to another episode of Starter Girlz Show. I'm so excited for my new friend here today, Becky Morris. I'm excited to welcome her on, but I want to tell you guys a little bit about her before we jump into this conversation. So Becky is the owner of Lilly Claire. Becky says she's always loved fashion, and even though she graduated from the University of Texas with a business degree in finance and marketing, fashion has always been her first career choice. So right after college, she started working as a part-time sales associate at Saks Fifth Avenue. This led to positions as a personal shopper and assistant fashion director. And eventually, she became the fashion and public relations director for Saks Galleria Dallas. This fun job allowed her to produce charity fashion shows and work with many designers and celebrities to create events, including a fashion show for England's Prince Edward. She also served as Saks media and television spokesman throughout the Metroplex and traveled to other Saks stores nationwide for openings and events. Modern, boho, vintage, she loves and wears it all. She's always wanted to create her own collection of clothing, and as a fashion stylist, she has worked with hundreds of clients providing styling guidance, wardrobe consulting, personal shopping, and closet cleanouts. Welcome to the show, Becky. So excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
I love this bio, by the way. I'm like, how fun is this? This is so much fun. I was talking to somebody the other day. It's funny. I have a client that she has an online business and she does designer handbags. And so we were talking about, she's like, maybe I should add some more services where I could have match the earrings up with the bags. And I'm like, yes, because people like me, that's how we shop. Like I go into stores and I find outfits and I'm like, just give me the ensemble. Like I want the whole thing. I don't want to have to pick and match.
Right.
So what a neat job you get to do.
It's so fun. I mean, I love fashion, as it said in my bio. So every day it's super fun and it never feels like work because I really do love fashion so much.
That's so awesome. So did you just, as a child, was this kind of your thing? Did you sort of have a knack for that?
Always. Yeah, I always loved fashion. I mean, even, when I went to college and I was majoring in business, I still really had a love for fashion. And I was always trying to figure out, how could I, make fashion a career? But, it just never really kind of clicked until I started working at Saks part-time. And even though I was a salesperson, the lady that did the fashion shows, I was always hanging around saying, hey, can I just help you, please? Anything, can I just help you? And so finally, she said yes. Free labor, I guess. So I just started working behind the scenes and, just really found that I love that so much. And that just kind of led snowballing to working as a personal shopper and then the styling and all of that. And it was just so fun that it finally came together that, I do have a career in fashion. So it just kind of didn't get there in a direct way, but it got there. So that was really, really fun.
Yeah. Well, and I've always said, on all my shows where I talk about our lives are never really just linear, right? We always have to have these paths that we go over here, but they sort of all the dots connect. There's pieces of each of these things where the dots connect. And when you line it all up, you're like, okay, I picked up this from here and that led me to this and that led me to this and that led me to this. It's like all these life choices that we make sort of just weave themselves in and out of our lives. And so I think this is great.
Yeah. And it's hard because a lot of times, students will ask me, how do I get a career in fashion? And, it's hard for me because it's it wasn't just a straight line. And so I'm always telling them, if it's something that you're passionate about, just keep at it, just keep following that dream because, it might not be a direct path, but if you're really, passionate and you keep at it, you will get there.
This is awesome. And for those of you that are not going to be able to see this video, she has these amazing glasses on right now. I can't stop looking at these glasses. I love them. They're so fun. You are so fun.
Necessity. That's always get great glasses. And then that's always takes away from maybe your makeup's not perfect or whatever. That's a styling tip.
Sure. No, thank you for sharing that. And it's so true. I have glasses. I don't have to. It's funny because I have glasses for driving. I need bifocals, but I had bifocals and I hated them because I didn't. So now it's funny because I have, and I try to find cute glasses because I think, they kind of accent you, right? And so I run around all the time, like, I only wear them when I drive my car. It's the only time I put them on, right? And so when I'm reading, I'm always like this. I'm having to like hold my phone and my papers back and everything. But yes, glasses are important.
Absolutely.
It's so awesome. So how long has Lilly Claire been in existence?
Well, we've been around for just a little over 2 years. We actually started during COVID, which, hey, maybe we're crazy. I don't know. But we did start up during COVID, October of COVID, when things were, kind of winding down, but still COVID. And so this past end of October, we celebrated 2 years. So we're going into our third year.
How fun. And you say we, because I know this is a mother-daughter team,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, my daughter, she's eight. She just turned 19 this past weekend. She's 19. So we started it together when she was a junior in high school. Actually, it's something that she kind of like pushed me to do. Maybe her idea, she kept bringing it up, saying, we should open a store. We should open a store. And so finally I started listening, thinking, hey, maybe there's something to this. And so we just kind of like figured it out and we did it. So we really do it together. It's mother-daughter style. We both love fashion, obviously, but our customer is kind of a reflection of both of us, which has been great.
Yeah, how fun. I think that's so awesome. And what a I don't yeah, I don't like I feel like so many people started businesses during COVID. And I was talking to somebody about this just the other day. So many people came up with like really good ideas and they're actually doing really, really well despite all the crazy that was going on during that
Yeah.
time.
Well, I will tell you, starting the store during COVID had a lot of like sort of hidden blessings because there was sort of a great ramp up period for us because, a lot of the manufacturers and the lines and the showrooms were more forgiving because they had just come through a period where they didn't really sell anything. So there was a lot of, merchandise from spring left over. We sort of had a great ramp up period where we could kind of like ease into it slowly, which was great. And again, as far as business, business was slow to start, but it also gave us sort of a learning curve, which, we were kind of ready when things kind of did take off. People started going more, doing more things. So in some ways, it was kind of a blessing in disguise, I would say, for us.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that from a lot of people too that I always feel like we're humans are like great industrious creatures, like we can, when we're given adversity, we can kind of get industrious and make things happen. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many entrepreneurs that during this time have done some really amazing things and took that opportunity to say, hey, this was a rough time, but we took advantage of this rough time to make something great. And they're doing phenomenal now. It's so fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So if I were to ask you, because I haven't seen your line, but I know you're rocking it over there because I've looked at some, a few things going on here, and I think that's fun. What would you say, besides the fact that this is a mother-daughter's team, what makes you guys unique? What's the thing about Lilly Claire that sets you guys apart?
Well, I mean, I would have to say, sort of my styling background really does help because when people come in, it's great. Sure, they just want to come in, they want to buy a t-shirt, whatever. But I really do try to help them find their personal style. A lot of times, like you said, people want the whole outfit. They're looking for something to wear to a wedding. They're looking for something to wear going back into the workforce. So I really love helping them find that perfect look and maybe getting them to step outside their comfort zone. So many people have so many set things in their mind about what they can't wear and why this doesn't look good on them, and I'm always like, hey, just try it, and let me show you how to put this together. Or sometimes people will ask me, what's a great way for me to update my look, well, maybe try like a new denim silhouette. So those are things that I think can really set us apart because I do really have that styling background and I do love helping people kind of like put together a whole look of their whole style, maybe change their style. So that's something I feel makes us unique.
Yeah, no, and I think I would say so too. I just wanted to see what you would say. That's a fun. I think that it's great that you've had that background, and it's so true because as much as I like clothing and stuff, that's not my gift to go in and be able to piece things together and say, hey, this looks good with this and this looks great with this. And I think it's fun sometimes to have a third party come in and be like, hey, try this out. It's kind of like I love to buy from Stitch Fix. And the reason I love to buy from them, it's not because anything is grand. It's just that they put something together and they send it to me and the stuff all layers with the package before that so I can mix and match it. You know what I mean? And it's like easy styling for me. And so,
Yeah, I agree.
but what
I used to work for Stitch Fix actually. So, I mean,
Did
But
you?
it's true. I mean, a lot of people want that sort of like expert opinion, if you will, or they want that validation, or like I said, they just need a little help stepping out of their comfort zone. So, I think that that's really important. And I try to do that. And I will tell you, the dressing room is a very kind of cold and unfriendly place for all of us. We're way too hard on ourselves. I will tell you whether anybody who comes in the store, whether they're 18, they're a supermodel, they're a workout queen, nobody is happy with their body. And no, we're also unkind to ourselves, and we need to be, a little more forgiving. And so sometimes it's nice just to have someone tell you, hey, you can rock that. You look great. That's amazing. That looks amazing on you. And this is, perfect for your style, or this is what you need. This is a great silhouette for you. And so I think those kind of things are just helpful for all of us.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that too. And I was going to say too, even with the stitch fix, like you mentioned earlier about how sometimes just trying something out, sometimes another eye on something can get somebody to do something. So in other words, whereas I may go into a store and look at that and go, don't really like that outfit, but then yet it arrives in a box and I'd be like, this is not something I would probably have bought for myself. And then I put it on, I'm like, okay. And then I get a lot of compliments on it, which is so funny because I'm like, this wouldn't have been something that I would have naturally just gravitated towards to put on. You know what I'm saying? Because we go with what we're comfortable wearing, right?
We like I said, we have a lot of preconceived notions in our mind, I think, of what we can't wear. And a lot of times, they're valid, but a lot of times those are the things that actually we look the best in. My daughter's always like, oh, I can't wear a halter, and it's like that's something that's actually very flattering on her. But it's just sometimes we don't see it, and we need to have someone else kind of we need to step out of ourselves and have someone else kind of help us with that. So
I agree. It's probably like me with purple.
yes.
It's how I feel about purple. Every time I wear purple, people compliment me, and I hate purple. I mean, it's not that I hate the color; I hate it on me. Like I could put it in my hair, and I could maybe wear it like as eye accent color, but I just don't like purple clothing on me. But every time I put it on, somebody says that actually looks good, and I'm like,
I
oh,
know.
oh,
We have so many of those preconceived notions just from way back. Who knows why you feel like that? But
right.
true. Sometimes we just need help and a different, fresh set of eyes to see that. And I will tell you too, a lot of times I get this question a lot. I do like fashion 101 classes and seminars a lot, and I get a lot of questions of like, oh wait, what are the fashion rules? Like, oh, can you not wear
Mm.
in the winter, and you can't do this and you can't do that. And I'm like, no, there's really no rules anymore. Stop. Don't think like that. It's just kind of like, wear what you like and wear what makes you feel comfortable, and don't worry so much about what the rules are, is what I like to try to tell people too.
And thank you for saying that because you probably grew up when I did when we used to do the
Yeah.
thing. There was only certain times a year you wore white, right? Like you did not do white in the winter.
Crazy. And it's funny because I started thinking about it after I had my daughter, because she would wear, like, she's a little fashionista too, and she would wear the craziest get-ups. I mean, she would put like dresses over pants. And I mean, like, I would think, why is she doing that? And then I'd be like, well, she doesn't know the rules. She doesn't have like a preconceived set of rules in her head. She's just wearing what makes her happy and what she likes. And I'm like, we should all do a little bit more of that. I have two neon signs in my store, one that says, if you like it, wear it. And the other one says, I'm nicer when I like my outfit. And those are both kind of like rules that I think, are sort of let you know what our aesthetic is when you walk in the door. Because I do feel like, I mean, fashion is there to make us happy, and it's a form of self-expression. And ultimately, you should wear what you like and what makes you feel good.
I like that, and I like your signs. I need some of those around here.
Right.
That's so fun. Yeah, you should wear what makes you feel good. I agree with you on that 100%. Life's too short to be worrying about all this stuff
It
anyways, right? You might as well just live your life and have
is
fun.
agreed. I agree 100%.
It's so awesome. Well, I do want to ask you one other question. Thank you for sharing all that fashion stuff like that. I had no idea we were going to go there, but see, that's what I'm saying. We never know with these shows, these episodes, they just kind of take a life of their own. Um, But I do have one more question I want to ask you that I think will be fun. So, being that you started during COVID and that being a challenging time, you mentioned that the buyers or the where you were getting your supplies and stuff, they were more forgiving. But maybe let's talk about coming from kind of the corporate sector because you were working as an employee now to being your own entrepreneur and your own creator of your time and how you do your business. What do you feel like was maybe the trickiest thing moving from that space to this other space?
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, I think like what you said, like being the boss and running your own business is really hard. I mean, especially the whole financial part. I mean, that's something, that yes, it's so much fun to style people, and it's fun to go to market and buy the clothes, but then you have to, sell the clothes and you have to, pay the bills and all of that stuff. And that's a part that I wasn't maybe as prepared for. And I'm still learning. It is like, a key part of the business. So just because my background was in fashion, that part of it, I still am learning the whole business side. And that's been a real eye opener, and something that I would say, to someone starting their own business, I think it's really important to do your homework and try to go in with a plan, go in with a budget. Those kind of things are really important. It sounds stupid. I mean, it sounds simple, but I mean, it's really key and it's really important. So, and the other thing too that I think has been really helpful is because I'm very hands-on right now, it's kind of just me. My daughter left, she's in college, so it's really just me. And I think it's so important to be there and be the face of your brand. And I'm there every day. I can see my customers, they come in, I can see what they like, what they're looking for, and I'm the face of the brand. So when they come into the store, they see me. So I think that's really important to be very hands-on, especially at first, so that you can really learn about your business and your customer.
Yeah, you said a lot of really good things there, and I would agree with you on all of that. I think that, as creators, I kind of come like from the space of like, not that I'm doing fashion, but I'm a creator. And so I love the creation part of things and the designing and doing all the forward facing things. I don't like the backward facing, is what I call it, the minutia. And so like you, I think that a lot of us, we get to that part. And it's not that we don't think we need to do those things. They're just not really exciting parts
No,
of the business, right? They have to be done,
they're not. And
but they're not exciting.
yeah, and one thing I taught my daughter, because she was there in the trenches with me, to her, yeah, this is fun. Yes, this is not just our closet. I mean, this is not like a place where you just come and like, find cute clothes. We have to take out the trash, we have to clean, we have to do all this stuff, and it's like, it was really, I think, important teaching her all aspects of it. So now she has a better idea of what it really takes to open a store, and it's not just the glamorous part. It's always the behind the scenes that's really making things tick that isn't so glamorous. So, it's important.
Yeah, and she's getting some really good business skills, firsthand
Absolutely.
experience of seeing what this is like to run a
Yeah,
business.
absolutely. I agree.
I think it's cool. I don't know if I shared this with you, but my background I was a Mary Kay for 22 years. And so we used to always talk about more is caught than taught. And so, like you, my kids, I've been an entrepreneur. My oldest is now 26. My youngest is 18. So I started as an entrepreneur when my oldest was, I think, about 18 months, 2 years. And then I had two children after that, post entrepreneurs. So they've kind of have witnessed that lifestyle for them, from day one. And I think they pick up there's a lot of good problem solving that comes from being an entrepreneur, because you're dealing with a lot of complex problems, and you have to learn on the daily that complex problems are not really ever solved. They
Right.
have to be maintained. And so you're continually having to look at what needs to be adjusted, evaluated, on a constant basis.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a great learning experience for them. Absolutely. Hands on, it's something that sometimes you can't really teach someone. They just have to experience it.
Yeah, it's like life skills, right? Business life skills, you get those too. But the cool thing about learning entrepreneur skills is you can really transfer them into pretty much. I mean, it's really the same skill if you wanted to run a marathon. It's kind of some of the same skills that you carry over, and that's why on my other show I talk to a lot of athletes too, because really the skill set is the same no matter what the goal is that you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a formula for success for anything, right? Hard work,
Yeah,
don't give up and just keep at it. So, very true.
yeah. So where do you see Lilly Claire going from here? Anything exciting coming up that we need to know about? Anything you guys are working on?
Well, I mean, we definitely are always wanting to improve like our website, our online presence. That's something that's always been a goal. We do like expanding more, doing a lot of pop-ups and like I said, these fashion 101 classes and things like that. We're really trying to get out there to kind of spread awareness for the brand by going and doing events, pop-ups, markets, things like that are really important to us. Because I love it when, I mean, I love having a store full of clothes that I love, but I also love when I go out and I see people and they're like, "Oh, I love your style." You know, it's like when we find our people, it's just so exciting and really rewarding too. So I love going out and doing events as well.
It's so fun. And I think pop-ups are fun. I used to, when I was in the network marketing space, I would go to a lot of these like different type of like vendor events and stuff like that. And I would see all these people that have like, they'd have like their own line of clothing or their own, might be candles
Yeah,
or perfume or different things that people were trying to, would curate themselves and bring to those. And I did a lot of that. I haven't done it in years, but that was kind of like a lot of what I did for for like 15 years in that company that I was
yeah.
with. So
I think that's it's a great way to grow your brand for sure.
yeah, yeah, and I like that you said, be forward facing and it be that you're the face of the company because I think that's important. Even, as you get bigger, obviously you do have to pull in more, help to help manage because you're growing. But I think it's always important when you can show up and be the face of your brand and they know that you're real and you're human because I think it gives you the authenticity and it really helps to create I think the company culture. Like the
Agreed. You know, how can we say we're a mother daughter brand or, that styling is important to me if I'm not there actually doing it? So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you guys are awesome. I love what you're doing. I love that you're a mom and daughter team, even though she's off at college. Like I said, I think she's learning great skills doing this. And who knows where you guys are going to go with this up the road. I think this is so much fun that you guys get to be a part of it
It really.
together. So, yeah, kudos to you. So, if our audience, let's say they want to get in touch with you, they want to see what you got going on over there, look at your style, all of that good stuff, where would you like us to send them?
Well, we are online. It's shoplillyclaire.com. And then on Instagram, we are Lilly Claire Style, and that's Lilly with two L's, Lily, Lilly Claire Style. And then, like I said, online, shoplillyclaire.com. Those are the two great places that you can check us out.
Yeah. And you know what? This just reminded me because you said that. How did y'all come up with that name?
Well, that's a funny story because my daughter's name is Lily, and so you try to think of a name. Like that's probably one of the most exhausting things is trying to think of a name for your brand. It's like because you're like, I love stuff, and she hated it, and she loved stuff, and I hated it. So finally, we were just like, okay, let's just name it after Lily. But her name is Lily Rita. That her middle name is Rita, and I was
Mhm.
like a cocktail. People might think we're a bar. Which say, hey, that could be a good thing, bad thing. But I'm like, we almost named her Lily Claire. I'm like, just Lily Claire. And so she's like, but mom, how am I supposed to explain that? People are going to ask me, is your name Lily Claire? No. What am I supposed to say? I'm like, just make up a story, but just make up a story. But so it is named after Lily, but it's Lily Claire. So, and it's funny. I've had several people come in and tell me, oh, my daughter's name is Lily Claire. And so it's kind of fun that, it's a name, but it's not exactly Lily. I said, it's your alternate personality. Just
Hey, it's good. And it's a story. It's still a story. I mean, you told one there, you know what I'm saying? And it made me think about that just as you were saying that. But we didn't even talk about that. Like, how'd you come up with it? I figured part of it was your daughter's
It was,
name.
yeah, it was my daughter's name, and it is, very much her personality. But I will tell you, it's very stressful to try to come up. A lot of times people have something that definitely, oh, I want to name it this. It means something, but when it's a store, you're thinking of all these different things because it should represent like what's there, and so that was actually very difficult for us. But we just stuck with Lily Claire, and it's working. So
I like it. I like it. And you know what? I agree with you. I think naming anything is hard. I had to do that when I was coming up with podcast names. I'm building a program. It's like every time you have to come up with a title to something because you're trying to think, what would your audience like? Like, you know what you like, right? But what does your audience like?
yeah,
They're buying,
yeah.
not us.
You go to things that, oh, that reminds me of this, and that's negative, and it's like, who knows what people will think. So it's very stressful. So I would say that's one of the hardest things was coming up with the name before we even.
Yeah. Well, you got it. It's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Well, Becky, this has been awesome. I want to tell you thank you so much for sharing with our audience. I say this is a Starter Girlz Show, and it's all about the creator, the achiever, the dreamer, the magic maker, and it's a female entrepreneur creator. She's doing all the things, and so thank you so much for coming on here and being authentic and real and sharing your journey with us. And so, to our audience, of course, we want to say if you enjoy our show, please be sure you go on iTunes, give us a rating, check us out on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And Becky, we will make sure that your links get in this when it goes out. And
Much for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
absolutely. And as we always say, I say on all my shows, be kind to one another, take care of yourself, and we will see you next time.